I met our next brave individual a little over a year ago when we trained for NAMI's, the National Alliance on Mental Illnesses program, Ending the Silence, which presents to high school students across the city speaking on mental health and suicide prevention. 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure of training her to be a mental health first aider. So let's welcome Lauren Avalos.
So when asked to come to this event and speak about my story, I wasn't really sure where to start, but today it really hit me on my way here, actually. I'm also a very last-minute person, so, I mean, if you know me, you know that this is where, I really started to make it come together and pull it together. So it starts with the word, gratefulness. It is warmly or deeply appreciative of kindness or benefits received. Thankful. I'm extremely grateful for the experiences and people and support that has brought me to this stage, to this very space that I am here tonight. I'm from St. Augustine, Florida, and I'm actually originally from New Orleans, and that also is a whole nother journey that I could tell you about, but I'm only here to tell you about my story tonight and why we're all here. I'm Lauren Avalos, and I'm a student at the University of North Florida. I'm an aspiring real estate agent, and I'm an advocate and volunteer. Now, those weren't my titles for, my whole life. It's been very recent. I would say maybe the last year and a half or so. But nowadays, I do a lot of advocating and volunteering, and I do a lot of yoga. I spend a lot of time with my family and my closest friends, and I eat food that makes me feel good. Now, that's always, it's kind of hard when you just want to eat pizza all the time. Today I'm here to share my story and to be brave, and as you can tell, I'm a little shaky and nervous. It's always kind of hard putting it together, putting it to words, and speaking to a room about your story. But today I will begin my story, this journey at high school. I was a very different person. I was very active. I was very busy. I did a lot of sports. I was involved in a lot of clubs. I did a lot of volunteering. I had a social life, job, and academics, and I still finished the top 10% of my class. Right, Mom? Life was great. I really couldn't complain, but that's kind of where, we kind of just put it off. Like, oh, you'll be fine. Like, you're just going through some funk. But the funk never really went away. There were early warning signs. One of the most obvious signs for me was that I stopped doing all of the things that I loved. And that's one of the hardest things to admit, is that you stop doing those things. Now, it wasn't a complete halt, but it was a gradual phasing out from everything that I wanted to do, from my normal life. It turned into excessive sleeping, constant crying, avoiding my friends, irritability, and general loss of hope. I couldn't think about anything except ending my life and leaving this world. But it really would have helped if I just had a friend or someone encourage me to talk about how I was feeling, which is mainly why I've brought myself to the stage to share my story, to let you know that it is okay to talk about how you're feeling. It's okay to not be so strong, and it's okay to be vulnerable. So I made a very big change about 2 years ago. I moved out, and I was living in an apartment by myself, and I thought everything was okay. But, things started to progress. And, you run into financial problems, you run into academic problems, and then, you just kind of feel like everything's going downhill. So my lowest point, I would say, in this journey was being hospitalized for 5 days and 5 nights. And if you've ever been there, it's a very difficult journey. But I made it out alive. So about a year and a half ago, actually a year and a half to yesterday's date, I was diagnosed with depression. So being able to put a name to how I was feeling and everything that I was doing really helped a lot with, pushing forward. And so here I am, and I'm here to tell you that recovery is possible. and you can really accept yourself once you have that label, but it's not what defines you. I am a yogi, I'm a volunteer, I'm a student, I'm gonna be a real estate agent soon. I'm everything else and not just someone with depression. So I really just want to thank Jeanine and everyone here tonight for allowing me to give you my story. Thank you.